Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy football content here on youtube.com. Now today I've got for you a specific video just for game week 38 captains, because I think it's a really important game week just to do the correct captain. So I've got 8 options here I've identified. I'm not going to lie to you, most of them are Man City against that Norwich fixture, and for good reason as well. So we're going to go through all 8 captain picks that I've come up with, and I think you're going to like what you have to see today. And if you do, and if it's the first time you see my video, please do consider subscribing. I'm aiming to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm closing in now. I'm sort of 75% the way there. So yeah, hopefully we can do that soon. But without further ado, let's look at 8 captaincy picks that really could be the ones for this game week. I think anything outside these 8 I'm going to tell you about today is going to be a bit of a punt. Anything outside this 8 is a punt, but these are the 8 most viable captain choices, I think, and some are a bit differential, but yeah, let's go through them right now. So, game week 38 captains. First option, number 8, is Kevin De Bruyne. You know, Kevin De Bruyne has been around for a long time, kicking about in our teams. He's probably in most of our teams right now. I'm not completely convinced by this option for a captaincy, but I think I've got to put him in there just because he's him, isn't he? Maybe he's the only choice you have. Maybe he's the only one out of this whole list, which you sort of hope not. I feel sorry for you if he is, but he is going for that assist record in a single season, which we all know he's 1 off matching that record and 2 off beating it as well. So he's going to be looking to get an assist or 2 in this game. Is that going to be massive points? I'm not sure. He's playing very deep against these weaker teams, and David Silva, when he plays alongside him, who we think David Silva is definitely going to be playing for his swan song Premier League game, his final Premier League game, you know. So we do think with those 2 playing together, David Silva usually is a little bit further up the pitch, De Bruyne a little bit deeper, and just because of that, there's going to be a much lower chance of this explosive score that we're all looking for. And just because Kevin De Bruyne is so heavily owned as well, it's not a very good differential, even if no one else is captaining him. But I think a lot of people will. Even if not many people do that, it's not a very big differential, and it's not a very good high ceiling for a score in this particular week either. So yeah, there is a little bit of concern there, but you know, maybe you want to go from anyway. Number 7 is Jesus. Now, he played 90 minutes against Watford on Tuesday in game week 37. So I'm not 100% he will start, but I think it's more likely that he will start than he won't start. I don't think he'll play all of the minutes. I don't think he'll play 90 minutes again. I just can't see why that would happen. And this sort of is the risk that we're looking at here. So this is a bit of a risky one. But that said, if he does start, he is a great way into the Man City attack, while staying fairly differential against this horrible, poor Norwich side that's unfortunately already down. They're probably going to be rotating. They're not playing for anything. They're done and dusted. They just want to play the next season, so they're going to get absolutely smashed by Man City. I think we all agree that Man City are going to go out and score 3, 4, 5, maybe more goals. So Jesus, we think, you know, he could be amongst that. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists in his past 4, even though he did blank in his last game, and he can be a little bit disappointing. But usually he gets enough chances to make the most of them. He's still one of the best FPL players for points per 90 minutes, especially when he's playing that entire game. You know, that's really good stuff. So Jesus, bit of a risk, but it could really pay off. So that's again why he's 7th in the list, is because there is that little bit of risk there. Next up, another slightly risky one. We're still on City, by the way. Don't worry about that. We'll get on to some other teams in a minute, I'm sure. But we're on Mahrez. So he didn't start against Watford, so he should be good to go versus Norwich. In the last 5 games since restart, where he's played 60 minutes or more, he has returned at least once in every one of those games. And we think he is going to play 60 minutes or more. Whenever he is on the pitch, he often looks like the best player on the pitch, and this is why I really like Mahrez. The problem is, he doesn't always start, and that's why people tend to avoid someone like Mahrez, because there is a risk of, is he going to play, is he going to not? If he does play, then we're all good. If he doesn't, we're not so good. But you know, just because he is probably going to play, that makes him a good option. So on a single game week where he is expected to start, he's going to be a great differential captain. And you know, when he is on the pitch, he's getting points. The problem is when he doesn't start. He is capable of a Hull versus weaker teams. 17 points against Villa, 15 points versus Watford, 14 points against West Ham. I know these are slightly earlier in the season, but these are big Hulls that this is what we want. But we do know he can be very hit and miss. He probably won't play all game, I don't think. So bit of a risky one again, but I think, a better risk to take than on a Jesus or the low-scoring KDB, which we kind of expect that might happen in this game week. So let's move on to some different teams, shall we? And go into number 8765. Aubameyang, my personal favourite player. 3 goals off the Golden Boot Award, so that could happen. He could be gunning for it, no pun intended. It's the only convincing captaincy option from Arsenal, really. I mean, you could go for Lacazette, but that would be a big punt indeed. It'd be a big risk. But Aubameyang scored 13 goals in the reverse fixture back in game week. 13 points in the reverse fixture in game week 5. Watford just in utter turmoil. They've sacked their manager. They're playing horribly, really. They're really not looking good. So it's a good time to maybe take advantage of that with an Arsenal player. Aubameyang, unfortunately, is playing in that dodgy position on the left, where sometimes he gets stuck sort of so wide that he can't really contribute and get involved in the attacking plays. But sometimes he looks really good cutting it in as well. So you don't know what kind of game it's going to be in that sense. He also hasn't returned in 3 consecutive games. He's only returned once in 5 games, so that's really not very good, is it? But he will play. He probably will play 90 minutes. And it's against a really good team to be playing against as well. So you've got to stick him in there. It's going to be a little bit of a differential, isn't it? Next up is David Silva. It's like I say, it's not really the game for KDB. But when David Silva and KDB are playing together, David Silva is the further guy up the pitch. He's playing more free roaming forward type player. It's his final game. It's his swan song game. So really could be something very nice, something special for David Silva. You know, if Sterling does get this one more goal, he needs to take him to 20 goals, which we know is a Sterling target, which we'll talk about in a little bit. David Silva, you know, he could be, if a penalty comes up, David Silva could be the one to take it on his final game, might give David Silva the penalty. I think that is very, very possible happening. And, you know, he's on other set pieces as well, so he's on free kicks and stuff. So David Silva, I do quite like the look of, and a lot of people like the look of as well. I'd still would be struggling to put him any up higher in the rankings in the top 3 captain choices, but he is still a very good option. And, you know, he has got a couple of monster scores, hasn't he? So when he does play, anyway. So let's move on to Harry Kane, number 3. You know, the main striker in a Spurs team with something to play for against arguably the second worst team. If we're saying Norwich are the team we want to target most for captaincy, the second most targetable whipping boy team is Crystal Palace. They're in awful form. They can't seem to get any points. They're safe. They don't care. They're conceding stupid amounts of goals, almost Norwich level amounts of goals. In fact, it might even be more since the break. Kane's still in for a chance of getting his 20 goal season. I'm sure he'll be looking for that 20 goal season. He's got to score 3 to do that, so he might be going for a hat trick. You know, if he gets 2, he might be absolutely going for it, trying to get that 3rd goal. And he's probably the only Spurs player capable of getting any real scores, other than maybe Son, but I think I'd rather go for Kane. So in the last couple of games, Kane has scored 2 goals in each of his past 2 games, double-digit hauls in both, 3 bonus points in both. So he's in form, he's got lots to prove, he's got something to play for. Spurs have got so much to play for, trying to get the European spots, or lock those European spots down for certain to make sure that they can get into Europe next season. So a team that has lots to play for against a team that doesn't have anything to play for, that looks good on paper on a final game of the season. So yeah, definitely something to look for there with Kane. Next up, number 2 is Salah, going for 20 goals for a 3rd consecutive season. He's currently on 19, so he's only got to score 1 more. Klopp is giving him plenty of minutes, and this is expected to continue. I'm looking at the stats in the eye test. Salah's actually been unlucky not to score a little bit more. You can tell he's very greedy at the moment, which is what we like when we're going for captains. He's very hungry. We like that as well. Newcastle, absolutely nothing to play for. They've gone to pot, haven't they? They're not really doing anything. They've not even got any players who have got any individual plaudits to play for. I think Newcastle could rotate and put some youth teams in, sort of give them an opportunity when there's nothing really to play for. And you know what? Newcastle already have plenty of defensive absentees. A lot of players injured, suspended, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if they've actually got anyone suspended, but it's not looking good at the back for Newcastle at all at the moment. And this could be a fairly big score. And although Salah has got a high ownership, he should still be a fairly good differential captain, because I know a lot of people are shipping him out. A lot of people are looking at these Man City players for captaincy. So Salah is very much going under the radar, really, as a great captain choice for this particular game week. So yeah, I am looking forward to seeing what Salah can produce. I don't have him in my team, and I'm pretty scared about not having Salah in my team at the moment. So could be something there, and I do think he is worth a go at your captain armband. Now my number one pick, and it's kind of come as no surprise to you. I've spoken about this in previous videos. Everyone is speaking about it, it's not just me. This week's most transferred in players, Raheem Sterling. And he's not going to be a very good differential captain. I think that is the biggest down point we can say about him. But if we can get past that, we say, hey, I'm not worried about having a massive differential captain. Hopefully, loads of people just captain all kinds of different players. It's the final game week. People are pushing for differential captains this week, which means, ironically, it makes the most popular captaincy pick slightly more differential just by virtue of everyone else going for differential captains. So I do think Sterling is still the best option, and he's definitely the guy I'm going to be captaining. He has got 8 goals and 4 assists in his last 8 appearances since the restart. So 12 returns in 8 games. That's pretty good. It makes him the top scorer in the whole league since the restart, and the second most assists behind Bruyne. So it's not a bad player to be behind either. He's averaging 9.75 points per match. That's insane. Every time he hasn't blanked, he's scored 10 or more points. It's 5 times since the break. So in the 9 games, I think, that City have played, 8 games Sterling has featured in. 5 of those times he's scored over 10 points. And I think the other games, I don't think he started all of those games anyway. So yeah, if Sterling starts it, we're expecting something big. He's got over 15 points 3 times since the break. Wow. And he's got over 20 points just that one time as well. So he's got some very, very nice, tasty scores, and we want to get... We'll see if we can get another one. He did take a penalty against Watford, and he's publicly stated he's going for 20 Premier League goals. He's currently on 19, so if early doors penalty comes in for Man City, Sterling's going to be stepping straight up, although he's not a very good penalty taker. He might score the rebound again. So, yeah, Sterling is looking very good. He's looking very hungry. He's making all the right noises on social media, this, that and the other. We think he's going to start. He didn't play all 90 minutes against Watford, so he should be fairly fresh. He's had a little holiday. He's come back for training. He's ready to go, and he's going to score a big one, I think. And Gabby Jesus also played 90 minutes, as I mentioned earlier. So if Jesus doesn't start, who goes in at that number 9 slot? Raheem Sterling. If Jesus does start, but gets taken off after, say, 60 minutes, for example, who's slotting in that striker spot for those final 30 minutes? It's Sterling. So we've got an out of position player as well. So there's so many benefits to putting Sterling as your captain. Norwich, on the other hand, we know they've not been very good. This is going to be a big score. Is Sterling going to be getting a hat-trick? I think he could get a hat-trick, and even maybe an assist on top of that. Could be a big score. I really think Sterling is so capable of getting a 20-point haul in this game. So, yeah, I'm firmly on Sterling. But, like I said, not going to be incredibly differential, and there's plenty of other options as well. So you don't have to captain Sterling, but if I were you, probably would. Unless you're chasing leagues and stuff and leaderboards and you want to get a differential on your rivals or whatever like that. But Sterling's my number 1. So there we go. That is the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, you found anything useful in this video, please do consider liking, subscribing, that kind of thing. This will be my final video before this final game of the season is played. So I guess I will see you on the other side. Good luck to everyone. I hope your captaincies go well. I hope your whole teams go well. Those of you on free hits, good luck on those free hits. I hope you're still tinkering and making those positive changes. I hope no one's taking too many hits in the transfer market. And I'll see you on the other side. Hopefully we'll all get good scores, and we'll chat about that a little bit later. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the support recently. I'm ready to go for the next season. Plenty more content to come. This is going to be a summer of loads of content on this channel, so I'm not going to be taking a break. I know a lot of the other YouTubers do take a break, but I won't be doing that, so do stick around. I've gone on long enough. I'm sure you're all ready to go set your captaincies on Sterling, and I'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye.